And what it means to be wise, from Aristotle's point of view, is to combine two things. One is the will to do the right thing, to provide what people need, which of course depends on what domain you're operating in. The other is to have the skill to figure out what the right thing is. And that takes skill because there's no formula to tell Lois Forer what the right sentence is in any given case, and there's no formula to tell the custodians how to intervene on behalf of patients. Wise people know when and how to make the exception to every rule. Wise people know when and how to improvise. We talk about wisdom as a kind of moral jazz. There are notes on the page, if you like. Those are the rules, but they're just guidelines. And what makes great jazz is not that you play the notes on the page, it's how you deviate from the notes on the page. You can do that well, and you can do that badly. Wise people are good jazz musicians. Wise people know how to find the mean, which is not the arithmetic average. It's what Aristotle had in mind when he talked about how courage was the mean between cowardice and recklessness. Now, where is the mean between cowardice and recklessness? The answer is it depends. It depends on the context, depends on the circumstances. There is no formulaic way to figure out what the mean is. Wise people know how to choose among virtues when they conflict. Imagine a doctor who believes that doctors should be honest with patients. Who doesn't believe that? The doctor also believes that doctors should be kind with patients. Well, it turns out that sometimes being honest tells you to do one thing and being kind tells you to do another. How do you balance two legitimate, important, but conflicting aspirations, conflicting values? Wise people figure out how to do it, and the point of balance, again, as Aristotle emphasized, depends on who you're dealing with, what the circumstances are. Wise people know how to put themselves in other people's places. They can see the world as other people see the world, and they can feel what other people are feeling. Empathic understanding is an essential ingredient of wisdom. It's something that takes experience to learn. Little kids have the impulse to be empathetic, but they don't have a clue about what would actually help. There's this great story about 2-year-olds in nursery school, and one of their classmates is upset and crying, and it bothers them, so they want to help this unhappy 2-year-old. So the question is, what should they do? And the answer they come up with is this: when I'm unhappy, I want a hug from my mom. And so they walk over to this unhappy 2-year-old, take her hand, and walk her over to their mom. A hug from my mom makes me feel better. Huh? Would you mute whatever that is? Is this the giant game or something? No. Thank you. Right? A hug from my mom makes me feel better when I'm unhappy, so a hug from my mom will make anyone feel better when they're unhappy. They have the impulse to ease the suffering of others, but they don't have a clue about what it takes to do that. Most of us, arguably, are a little better than 2-year-olds, but it takes experience really to get good at that. And perhaps most important, a wise person uses these skills in pursuit of the right aims, to serve other people and not to serve him or herself. If you use all of these skills to serve yourself, you become a Machiavellian manipulator, and that's not what Aristotle thought a virtuous person was like. And last, a wise person is made, not born. We argue in the book that everybody has the capacity to develop these characteristics, but it takes experience. It takes trial and error. It takes making mistakes and getting wiser as a result of learning from your mistakes. Nobody's born with the magic gift of wisdom. So, the wise doctor balances honesty, kindness, paternalism, and patient autonomy. Let me tell you what to do, you decide what to do. A wise lawyer balances passionate advocacy and judicious counsel. A wise teacher or parent balances the fairness with giving each child what she needs. That is to say, treating kids differently.